Thank you for joining Jennifer Strauss and Associates in our 2019 Webinar Wednesday series. We are coming to you live from downtown Washington, D.C. Our webinars are every Wednesday and can the upcoming schedule on our website. Past webinars and all recordings are also on our website, along with over 160 other recordings on federal contracting topics. All are complimentary. If you have questions for our speaker today, you can email him directly with the contact information you'll see on the last slide. All right, this is just a little bit about us. We are a Washington, D.C. based firm and provide services for federal contractors. This ranges from market analysis reports to proposal writing and also post-award compliance. More information is on our website, so please visit us there. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Our speaker today is Paul, and he's going to be covering Understanding Form 413 in the SBA 8A application. Thank you for joining us today, Paul, and go ahead and hand it over to you.
I'm happy to be here, Mallory. Mallory, I have the same problem with the screen setup, so I'll have to walk you through it. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Karlichek. I've been doing 8A certifications for over 20 years. And today's topic is Form 413. While your 8A application is now done electronically through the Upload SBA certified site, 413 still plays a role within that upload. And so I'm going to speak to Form 413 as it would relate to the portion of the upload that you're going to run into. My suggestion is when you run into the questions for your personal finance, which is what 413 is all about, you do it in paper first and make sure that you have everything accounted for so that when you do get into the upload site, you can just merely transfer it over from what you've done on paper. It gives you a chance to look at what you have and know that what you have is verified to be the right numbers. 413 is a financial statement used by SBA. When you do it online, it will do calculations automatically. But what it does is it verifies personal net worth. And this is the net worth that is calculated minus your equity in your house, equity in your business, and your retirement accounts. It's utilized in SBA's 8A program for qualification. It's more like a personal balance sheet. It measures your assets and your liabilities to give you an overall net worth and a net worth that is allowable within the 8A program. And as an applicant, that is $250,000. The layout is often confusing to applicants, and that's why I recommend that you do a paper draft before upload to the SBA certified portal. Next slide. I don't know what you're pulling up, Mallory, but I have a copy of the 413. Those of you who are sharing in this webinar, you can click on this form, and my suggestion is take every part of that and fill it in where you can and do your calculations. Once you have this sheet done, it's probably about 4 or 5 pages. Once you have it done and you're satisfied with everything that you have, you want to have everything in there, your cash, your retirement accounts, your mortgage, your house, your cars, and this is not to be confused with your business. It says accounts payable and it's notes payable, but that's on a personal basis and not business basis. This is strictly a personal gauge of your overall financial position. You don't want to have too much money and you don't want to have too little net worth. How personal finances are evaluated by SBA. Both you and your spouse are 10% plus partners in your who would be co-applicants must provide information. All personal assets and liabilities are evaluated. SBA examines both your finances and your tax returns, and your tax returns will be bumped against your finances that come off of the 413. You must make sure that both match. SBA will review both the tax returns and your financial statement, and will find certain things on your tax returns that you're taking, say, a deduction for, and it doesn't make sense on your what you've told them in your personal financial statement. You must be free and clear of any tax obligations. Any tax obligation to the federal government or to the state, or anything that is tax related will cause a problem with SBA. My understanding, any tax obligation is an automatic problem with your 8A application. Again, your actual net worth will be higher than SBA's required net worth, and that's because you don't count your house, you don't count your equity in your firm, and you don't count the equity in your retirement accounts. If married, your finances are divided in half if they're jointly held. That's usually the case with a house. It doesn't necessarily apply to your retirement accounts, so bear that in mind. Next slide. What information and issues occurred during review? The liquid access to your retirement accounts. And what I mean by this is having access to money in your retirement account without a penalty. If you have a retirement account that lets you use it like a little piggy bank, SBA will not recognize that as a true and real retirement account. You have to have some kind of penalty built in, as do most retirement accounts, 401ks. And so bear that in mind. Owning additional property in addition to your primary residence, an account under great scrutiny. Personal loans payable to the applicant. Mutual bank accounts versus individual bank accounts. Additional personal property, cars, jewelry, boats, whatever. Stocks and bonds held outside retirement accounts. I have clients who have stocks and bonds, and they do their own trading, and as a result, they do not fall within the purview of retirement accounts, and they will count at you at face value, and that will likely put you over the threshold of $250,000 in net worth. Cash value of insurance and owner of the policy. Cash value, which would probably be in the form of a whole life policy, retains cash value. That is as good as cash, and if you're the owner of the policy, that is an asset. Any kind of additional income that you may be receiving from royalties or rent or things of that nature are also additional income. Next slide. What to expect from SBA? SBA will scrutinize your personal finances. They will just give it a thorough look. SBA will investigate you in great detail. SBA is part of the federal government. They have access to a lot of data that when it's out there in IRS or other places, the SBA is able to pull up that type of information. For instance, if you have land holdings, say back in India, it may be noted on your tax return. and you may not have that as something you put onto your personal finances, and that will raise a flag, and that could get you disqualified. Again, look for consistency when comparing to your tax returns. I can't stress that enough. The tax returns are always the great detriment to consistency. They have to match what you're giving in your financial picture. Ensuring that you have a positive cash position on a personal level now, not your business, but you as a person. You cannot have a negative net worth and be in a good position. You must represent a person of good character and somebody who has a demonstrated situation of being able to grow yourself personally as well as your business. Scrutiny on access to your retirement accounts. This will be tireless, even if they're valid retirement accounts. They will push to have you see the fine print, so to speak, that's part of your retirement account, and want to know what the terms and conditions are. They will go to that detail to make sure that you do not have access to those funds at a later time. Next slide. Don't be overly confident. When you're doing your personal finances, everything comes out. I mean everything. Even myself, when I do a client's 8A certification, there are things that, by virtue of just forgetting it, it's been out of the picture for so long that people forget about it, and it may be something that comes back to haunt you. It may be an insurance policy. It may be some kind of asset that you've had hanging around that you've inherited, but it belongs to you, and you have to be aware of that. If you omit items, SBA might claim that you're trying to deceive them, and they will invoke a CFR of being of bad character and deceptive to SBA. I've seen that happen. Again, recommend completion of the hard copy version of Form 413. I can't stress that enough. Have that right next to you as you do your upload to the certification upload site, and you should be fine. Make sure you've checked everything in your financial life and that there's nothing out there that's going to come back to haunt you. Why choose our team? We represent a team that has everything, not just being able to help you with your 8A, but to take you beyond the 8A service, to do a GSA schedule, and to do business development, capture development, and identify opportunities that you can grow and use your 8A with. And with that, I'll end my presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. This concludes the webinar. Thank you for joining us.